Hey, how you guys doing? So this is Neil from growpotcheaply.com. I'm going to be showing you guys how I do some hydro organic. Um, I've grown with this stuff outdoors before a few times, works great. I haven't actually tried growing with it indoors yet. I want to do that. The basic recipe is I have here a blue kush, photoperiod. She's about 2 feet tall. She's just in a little 1 gallon container with pure cocoa. And then I have, that's cocoa fiber. And then I have the hydroton on the top here just to keep any bugs and stuff out, to help keep bugs out. But yeah, so that's that. And so what I use here is Dr. Earth, homegrown, 100% natural handcrafted blend. It's just a powder. It's 573. You can also use their liquid version, but the liquid version is like a lot more expensive. I like it. It has the probiotic inside. It has a lot of stuff with beneficial soil microbes. So this is a living. You can turn your cocoa into a living cocoa, living soil. If you want to do what's called cook it, whatever, you can actually add this to your cocoa ahead of time and let it sit for like a month and just kind of water every now and again and let it build up like in a toad or something. Let it build up and let these micro beneficial bacteria really grow and develop. This has everything it needs inside for feeding. One other thing I didn't bring out here is Epsom salt. I like to use Epsom salts as well. I use about a teaspoon per gallon of water. I usually mix that in with the water, or I'll just sprinkle like a teaspoon on top of the plant. Do like every 2 weeks or so to, And next thing here is, because you can see it's 573, it needs a little bit more here during flowering. It needs a little bit more of the K. So to add that, kelp meal. Kind of easy to remember, NPK, kelp for K. It has 0.6, 0.5, 2.5. This is really what I'm going after, is 2.5. And this is all organic as well, and so this also has beneficial soil microbes, and so add that into it as well. Now when I do this, you can follow the instructions on the back. Like this one here is like 1 teaspoon for 4 inches, so basically, or 1 tablespoon for 4 inches. So you can actually put a whole tablespoon in there. Oh, actually, wait, sorry. This stuff claims it's 1 tablespoon. Also use this right here. This is soil acidifier. It's basically just a natural form of sulfate, which is sulfur. Now the Epsom salts already has some sulfur in it, and so if you're using Epsom salts, you might not really need that much of this anyway. So try the Epsom salts first before you even add this in there, and check your runoff and see where it's at. I'm just using just straight my water right out of my hose, which is well water, and my well water varies in pH, but basically I watered it really good yesterday, and I checked the runoff, and the runoff was like 7.2. That's a little high for me, especially for cocoa. And so what I do, even though I'm watering the cocoa every single day, I feed every day, well, I water every day with water. This feed is always in there. About every week or so, I put more of this in there. I use a little bit less than what it says. I just kind of take a little pinch, not a handful, but a little end, and I just kind of sprinkle around the top there of each one of these. And then this stuff I only use once in a great while, so I already added just a little bit of this. I add about a half a tablespoon of it to the top, and that's probably all I'll add until she's done, maybe. I might add a little bit more again later on, just depending on how she looks. So if I see, hey, you know what, she's looking a little bit lighter green, let's check the runoff again. So in about 3 weeks to a month, I'll probably check the runoff one more time just to see where it's at. At first, I'll probably check in just to see how much. I put very little of this in there for right now. I just want to check and see where the pH. I'll check in like maybe a week or so to see where the runoff is at. With that, my battery had died because I was out here in the hot sun. Now I'm in the shade, so I was sitting right there in the hot sun, and it's pretty damn hot right now. Anyway, so basically, make sure that when you use your soil acidifier, don't use it unless you need it, right? If you're using Epsom salts, just use those 3. The Dr. Earth. Follow the directions of Dr. Earth. Follow the directions of the kelp meal for how much to use per inch of your pot. So if it says if your pot's 6 inches across, and use it based on that. Typically, with a 3 gallon to 5 gallon pot, I use about a tablespoon at a time of each one, and only use the kelp meal during flowering. And also keep in mind that when you're using this stuff, you have to use it more often than the directions, because you're watering every day. That is, if you're watering every day. If you're not watering every day, then follow the directions pretty much, and it works really good. But if you're watering every day because you're using cocoa like I am, that's why this is hydro, because cocoa is a form of hydro when you water every day with it. Then you definitely want to make sure you add this more often. And you can kind of see the plant will start looking lighter and lighter green, going, okay, it needs more feed, give it more feed. It's kind of hard to overdo this stuff, so keep that in mind too. But don't douse on it. Follow the directions. Don't add it on too often. Just add it to the directions, and then wait till the plant kind of, starts showing just a little bit lighter of a green, and then maybe give it, another feeding. I tend to do it about once a week or so. About once a week to every 2 weeks, just depending on how heavy it's using the nutrients. The soil acidifier, don't use it. Use Epsom salts. Use that for a little while. If the plant starts kind of showing some signs like pH imbalance, something like that, then maybe think about adding a little bit of the lime or the acidifier. They come in both of these. This is the sulfur one. They also make a lime one, which is a pH of 7.0. Now that's what that is. It tries to reach a 7.0, so it doesn't go over 7.0. Make sure don't overdo it, the lime, otherwise you can really mess your plants up. Another thing to keep in mind is, so what you want to do is you want to test your plant. So water it, make sure it gets a decent size first before you even check the runoff. And then it takes a while for all this stuff to kind of balance itself out in the cocoa anyway, even though you're watering every day. And then check the runoff. If the runoff is above 7, maybe add just a little bit of soil acidifier. For that little pot right there, 1 gallon pot, I only added like half a tablespoon, and that's gonna be all I add at all for the entire grow. I probably will most likely never add any more of that for the rest of its life cycle, which is like 2 months to go because it hasn't even started flowering yet, which is stupid. It's already August 11th. But anyway, and then the other thing is, if you're going to add lime to it, make sure don't add too much lime. Don't keep on adding lime if your pH is still not coming out right. It takes a while to kick in. It doesn't just snap in right away. So you might want to maybe even check your water ahead of time with some cocoa and put a little bit of the stuff in it, these two things in it, and let it just sit there for, a good 3 weeks or so, and then check the runoff real fast, just to see kind of what, water every day, and then check the runoff, just see what it comes out at before you even start your grow. And then if it comes out a little bit more like above 7.0, then maybe add just a little bit of soil acidifier when you actually into your cocoa before you grow. If it's really low acidic, then add just a little bit of lime to it. It's really that simple. Make sure to use Epsom salts too. Epsom salts are wonderful, man, for your whole entire garden. Sprinkle, about a teaspoon of Epsom salt for every plant, about every 2 weeks or so, and man, just beautiful. It makes such a big difference in how they uptake the nutrients and stuff. Epsom salts is one of the really good gardener tricks from way back. And last thing I want to show you, just in case I forgot to show it to you, was what a burnt leaf looks like when it starts to get burnt by the sun. Can you see that? That one versus the normal leaf, which is not. It starts to get a little pale, like you can see the almost looking whitish pale green. And that's what happens when the sun's a little too intense for it. But she's starting to harden up and get used to it, because before she spent most of her life inside the sunroom, and the sunroom is it's just like a regular room, like my laundry room with like a sunroof at the top. So it's only getting a little bit of sun throughout the day, and so like maybe 40 lux, something like that. Out here, sometimes it's getting over 100,000 lux, which is a lot. And so I should probably have like a little shade over it sometimes. But anyway, I just wanted to get some really intense sun for as long as possible, and then once it starts getting too cold out here again, because summer's like stupid, then I'll put it back in the sunroom. But yeah, so that's it, folks. That's how you do some organic hydro. Make sure to water every day when you're doing the cocoa. And that's it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Double peace.